What up, what up? It's the Chief Kaseek Ortiz.
Tyrant333, and this is Figure the Fuck Out.
Yes, sir.
Bringing it back to you yet again. We don't stop.
Nope.
And that's what this whole episode is about. And what we're going to talk to you today about is the holiday season hustle. How to put your foot on the gas and keep your foot on the gas during the season. We've worked with a lot of different artists, him as an engineer, me as an artist, him also as an artist, and me as a manager, and talked with a lot of different people who it can be tough to keep the momentum up during this time, making music, promoting music, when you're going to drop your videos, stuff like that. And you see other people making music that is themed for just the holiday. So that's kind of what we want to talk about today. But you as an artist, how do you feel about, you know, the timing of it right now? You personally like dropping your music?
Yeah, for me personally, I get into that feeling just like other artists do, where it's like, all right, it's holiday season, you're spending more time with your family, you got a bunch of money that you need to save up for, you know, the holidays. Christmas is coming, whether you celebrate that or you celebrate something else. You got Thanksgiving coming. If you don't celebrate that, you celebrate something else. You know that one way, shape, or form, you're going to be getting around family and spending a lot more than you should and gaining a lot more weight than you should as well. But
that coquito and that eggnog.
Hell
and
yeah.
the
you know
turkey.
What I'm saying? That panin. We out here. So
put some pounds on.
Facts. I know I'm about to. Shit. But around this time, I still fall into my own, you know, gripes of like, all right, maybe I shouldn't release music right now. Maybe I should hold on to it, keep it in a tuck and prepare it for next year. And if you are going to do something like that, just look at it as like, this is a great time to start getting organized.
Yep.
With your shots.
Get prepared, you know, get stuff in line, figure out what projects you're going to release.
Yeah. Maybe
even get some dates lined together.
Yep.
Even have a couple different big plans, some things that you haven't implemented yet. Like, all right, I wasn't able to cross this off this year. That's first in line in the queue for the next year coming up. And let's do it strong. Let's do it throughout the year. Let's just not make it a one-time thing and a one-time appearance. Let's really go for it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a good time to plan before the plan. Start making your New Year's resolution a real life now. Mm-hmm. So by the time the New Year's rolls around, it's easy. It's not a struggle. And one of those things you put off for a couple weeks, like, dang, all right, New Year's here, but let me give it a couple more weeks. Right. Now all of a sudden you're behind the curve with all those people like Kaseek, Ben Grizz, other artists out there who prepare during this time.
Yeah. And
we're really speaking to the artists who don't have the luxury yet to just live in the studio at all, you know, 24/7.
And if you do live in the studio and you are in there, like you said, 24/7, at this point, just keep putting up the shots as much as possible. You know, I kind of, if I'm low on resources, whether it be money or, you know, low on resources as far as being able to get models for videos, et cetera, or just whatever the case may be, that you want to chalk it up. But when you get in that mode, like I said, it's better to just organize the next year's plans and start putting it in front or in first queue, like he was saying, because around this time, naturally, there's so much going on with the holidays and all these commercials that commercials itself become so expensive. So like, for example, if you are living in the studio and you are able to put up the shots at this juncture or this time frame, if you're trying to put up the shots and you're trying to run ads, you have to also understand that your ads are also going to cost a little bit more of a premium to run, because now you're really competing with the holiday season. You're not even competing with just music anymore. You're competing with the fact that the new PS25 is coming out, you know, like everything is dropping. So it's like you can get, you know, kind of lost in the sauce, if that makes sense.
It's a great time. I'm just thinking of this now, but like for the artists who have merch and different things lined up, because people are going to be more willing to drop a bag on stuff like that during this time,
right?
And really support you. Maybe get your new shirt or whatever new thing you've done implemented or drop. They might drop a bag on that during this time.
Yeah, they would.
You know, on the other end of things, there's artists who like, man, it's getting cold. And that could, you know, for some people personally, take away from your ambition a little bit. When it's cold outside, you want to stay your ass in the house or up under your girl or
you don't
with the family.
Write, you don't want to record. You don't even want to do videos, visualizers, anything. You're just not even 100% not even trying to put up the shots. And that's when that becomes the issue. And that's why we're calling this the holiday hustle, because even though it is that time frame where you feel like you can fuck off, I'm telling you, if you ain't successful yet, you have no place to be fucking off.
You should still be putting the foot to the grind during this time more than even ever. And if you do that, you will be heavily rewarded and you'll be ahead of the game of the people who slacked off during this time.
Yeah, most definitely. Because it would make more sense for you to use this or utilize this time that you do have to get into the studio. If you weren't really putting up shots all year, this is the time to actually like, let's go into the studio. Let me write multiple songs a day or multiple songs a week, get them recorded, mixed, mastered. Let me lock all the way in so I can prepare that for the upcoming season. Whether, you know, you're dropping as soon as January hits or you're planning for a spring release, summer release. The time it would be for you to get all that aligned and putting your ducks in a row would be now, to get all that creative shit out the way. That way there, when it does hit next year, now you're just kind of waiting for warm weather to shoot videos. And if you're not in a state where it snows like I am, you know, when it snows for me, I personally hate seeing snow in music
my
videos.
black ass does too.
Facts. If I see other artists do it, I don't really want to watch it unless it's like Christmas. But for me personally, I don't even like including snow in my videos unless it's specific for it. So it's like, for me, I know for some people might look at that as like I'm standing in my own way, because there's multiple avenues that I can do.
But that's real though. And you can't be the only artist that thinks that way.
Yeah, I know.
You know, you definitely can't be the only artist who thinks that way.
Because if I had the money, or if I do have the money, then fuck it. Like we did that one year. Instead of us, you know, sitting around here watching the snow, we're going to go down to Puerto Rico and I'm just going to shoot a whole bunch of content. And
still be dropping, like it don't matter.
Right.
And honestly, it's funny you say that, because even the bigger artists, I don't see, this is me personally, I don't see a ton of them doing like shots and stuff in the snow.
Not too
Even
much.
during the winter, they might be, like you said, in Puerto Rico, or they're in LA, or they're in Houston, where they're still shooting content.
Right.
And it's like a hot weather place, so they can just put that shit out all year.
Even if it's not hot, it at least looks good, and you can maybe leave the house with, you know, maybe a layer on with like a jacket or whatever, but you still kind of look comfortable. The sun is still beaming, and outside it looks like it's still presentable. When it's snowy and ugly as fuck over here, it's like everything's muddy, slushy. The cameras can't, you know, they can't resist the weather,
the water, and
all that shit. So it's like, I look at that as like a way of like, all right, bro, now that it's snowing, I'm all set. I'm not going to release anything. But if I'm not going to do that, I do have the ability to either travel out somewhere, rent out a place to shoot content indoors, or I'm just going to lock all the way in the studio and then get everything ready for the next year. So when everything does melt around my way, I can push it. But that's also kind of like I said, me standing my own way, is that that's almost a local area mindset, because like I just said, you can rent out a room or rent out a space where it still looks good. Because just because it snows here, that doesn't mean it snows everywhere else. So I have plenty of content.
Go indoors to like a studio somewhere, or you know, or
you'll have plenty of content that you could shoot anywhere, and then that could be, you know, you could put ads to that all year round, because not everywhere snows.
Yeah, and if it does, like he's saying, try to find a way to get indoors with it and be creative, even if you really don't love the snow that much. I've seen some artists make some fire snow records, like that one with Yo Gotti, where he's in the woods and the fire car out there rapping and shit. That's a classic. I can't remember that the exact name of the record. Little Baby I seen with a couple records in the snow that were heat. Well, not really. They were cold, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
And those ended up being good. And you see some other artists out there who've had like holiday specific records.
Right.
Yeah, at certain times of the year, it might not apply as well.
Right.
Or it might be situational. But
if you're
during the holidays, you can run them up.
If you're dropping a Halloween project, a Christmas project, it kind of sounds like it's eerie, or it sounds like it is supposed to be played around this time. You know, Mariah Carey's song, literally, she has great music out there, but that one song literally shoots off the roof as soon as Halloween is over. Everybody's starting to play that Christmas record by her.
Oh, and it kills me too.
But yo, it's going up. You can hate it as much as you want. She's getting that mailbox money.
For real. And that's over and over and over again, every holiday. You know, you have a good, like my brother has this record, Clowning, during Halloween time. That's a great record to run back up. Nervous. And I know he's speaking on how he doesn't like the cold as much, but even that What I'm Worth video, I remember being there when they shot that shit. It was fucking freezing.
It was so cold.
We were in the middle of Boston. That shit was like, yo, I was, dude.
Jumping around like it wasn't that cold and shit like that, smiling all over the video. My damn fucking dick near almost fell off. Like
shooting, it was a crazy video because they shot half of it in Puerto Rico, hot Caribbean tropic place, and then half of it in cold ass Pittsburgh.
Right.
No,
Boston.
Boston, middle of the winter.
Right.
Yeah. So it ended up being a great video, but man, I remember being cold during that shot.
Yep. And we was doing that shit at like 2, 3 in the morning.
But don't let any of that hinder you. Still create. The new year is coming. Start working before your resolution, before your resolution. That's how you get into gear. We have a lot of stuff that we always have a lot of stuff that we want to get done, especially me and him. We look at the beginning of the year. We end up knocking up most of it off when we come back and look back at our checklist, which is a great thing. The couple things that we didn't get to yet, we're still working on. We got 3 months left for looking at the rest of this year. So there's plenty of shots that can be put up to close out this year strong.
Right.
So, and the ones that don't get put up, they're going to be happening right at the beginning of next year.
Yep.
So there's no momentum ever lost. There is consistency displayed, and that's what keeps you going in this constant energy. And it's not easy. We get it. There's life shit happening for everybody.
Facts.
You know, families, holidays, cold.
Yep.
The holidays go from Thanksgiving all the way up until past Valentine's Day.
Yep.
And that's not counting all the birthdays, especially the February birthdays. I'm one of them. It's fucking a million of them, it seems like.
Yep.
February, January. So, you know.
That January, baby. So, you know what I'm saying?
So there's all that stuff. But just have it strategically planned out. But to go on the other side of things, I know a lot of people love dropping summer records.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because summer records you can literally do any time of the year. You could be on Christmas recording your summer record and release that shit because it feels like summer somewhere.
Yes, exactly.
And that shit can be pushed.
Those hot weather ones, there's nothing like them, you know? And I know the people getting involved in the videos, they love shooting them. People be having whole projects that seem lined up for the 6 month. What's up with that 6 month June? But it seems like there's always projects ready to line up. Whether it's big industry people or independent, they're ready to drop projects in June, you know?
Everything's going around that time. Because it is true. June is when summer hits. That's when Juneteenth hits. That's when Father's Day hits. That's when everything is really getting cracking.
Barbecues are cracking.
I feel like Cinco de Mayo is kind of like the introduction.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey.
I even see the Afrobeat uptick more and shit like during that time.
Facts.
Maybe that's just me personally, but like that shit be popping off. All the music that you're going to get out in the good weather and just get it popping. Like you really see uptick in that shit. And that's a beautiful thing too.
And even then, it doesn't even matter when you drop it because if you're not, you know, as big as Kendrick's or all these other huge artists, like you could drop that shit right now, come back to it next year around this time, around, you know, spring and summer and create it like it's brand new again. Because there's always somebody out there who never even heard your music and they're just getting introduced to it by that post or by that video drop that you're about to make.
And get creative with the content too. As long as you're creative with the content, you can make a old project fresh, like we've talked about on this channel multiple times.
Yep.
And that's another great thing. How is it now? We spoke about you as the artist. How is it during the winter, especially us, you know, Massachusetts guys, for you recording clients? Do you see more people recording? Do you see less people recording? Like, what is that whole part of things that you see as an engineer?
I feel like for me, mostly that I feel like it's like the hardest time of the year because that's when artists get in that mindset of the snow is coming. It's getting dark real early. It's dark by fucking 3 o'clock. It's like kind of depression. Almost.
Oh, seasonal depression is a thing.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't got family or some fucked up shit happen on the holidays, which seems like happen to everybody.
Yep.
You know?
That depression kicks in and like I feel like I start seeing them a whole lot less because they are saving up because maybe they got kids or families or they don't have kids and families and they're depressed or they just, you know, kind of want to fuck off the season because it's cold. Nobody wants to go anywhere. It's freezing. It's hard to drive around. The weather is very unpredictable. The roads are even worse. You know, one day you could be driving down the street, it's fine, and then it gets plowed the next day, and now there's fucking 25 sinkholes that you just fucking hit in your cars, you know?
Especially if you're dependent on someone for a ride. I personally know I'm not giving your ass a ride during the winter.
Right.
So, like, you know, there's definitely some issues with that, too. And even just getting to the studio, like you were saying.
Yep. So naturally, I see a lot less people trying to put up the shots. And that's why I think we needed to have this type of episode kind of going on to let people know that when you think it's not time to be shooting is probably when you're supposed to be shooting the most. You're supposed to be going to the gym and working out the hardest you can get into. I'm sick right now, and instead of calling him and be like, hey, bro, I'm sick, I can't do it, I'm just going to come here and do it and put up the shot. And
bro, let me just say this. I was fired up that he did that. You know, like, you powered through it and just said, fuck it, we're going to get to it still.
Right.
You're like, nah, I'm not going to let it stop me. Let's just put up a shot. And I love that. You know, both got fucked up eyes right now. Look like we got punched in our eye.
Right.
You know, I just got out of eye surgery. He's sick, but we're still up in this bitch.
Them sinuses, that's what it's about, bro. It's fucking 80 degrees in damn November, and then today is like 40 degrees.
That's some Massachusetts shit for your ass. The unpredictability.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you got to be unpredictable too. Mm-hmm. Like we said, people predict it to slow down right now. Mm-hmm. So don't slow down on yourself. Don't slow down on your music or your craft. Plan and organize during this time, and then execute.
Go all the way in.
And this is Figure It the Fuck Out.
Yes, sir.